everyone. Welcome. Yeah, that's right. The 88th edition of the Wrap-Up. Dan, are you in concussion protocol?
I'm in Eric Lindros concussion protocol.
Number 88, the Legion of Doom line. If you do recall, Eric Lindros' career cut short due to concussions. He wore number 88. This episode is dedicated to him.
We miss you.
Probably doesn't even know where he's at right now. Anyways, enough of the low blows. Speaking, actually, no, not enough.
Nice segue.
Yeah,
That's a
it
good one.
wasn't
All
even
right.
intentional. You know, I've been doing this 88 weeks, you know.
There you go.
Just saying. Let's go. Got my first piece of hate mail sent to us this week. Dan, does that mean we made it?
Someone's watching. They're watching, right? Yeah.
Someone's watching. But here's the thing, Mr. Tim Jones, if that is your name, sounds like a fake name to me, but, you know, that's great. Well, you're hiding behind your keyboard thinking you're all bad and tough. You can send all the hate mail you want. If you think you can do a better job, by all means, we'd love to have you on. You can debate me. You can say I'm crazy, I'm senile, I'm weird. Guess what? Don't care, Timmy. Dan would be happy to step aside and let me have a heated debate with some man named Tim Jones. Yeah, that's right. He said, and I quote, "Get Nick Buckler off the air." You think you hurt me, Tim? You just made me want to keep going. Reach for that goal. You're the people that, you know, it's like when Sidney Crosby gets booed in every stadium. I take it as a compliment. Tim, let me just put that right here. You know, I have a sports show. I talk about what I want to talk about. Dan talks about what he wants to talk about. And if he doesn't, if he says something crazy, I'm cut his mic. He has no choice. It's a great tie you're wearing, Dan.
Thanks. Great.
Who got that for you?
Oh, just this Tim Jones' favorite sports anchor.
That's right. That's me. That's me. So, Timmy, guess what? Feel free. You can send another email. It'll go directly to me. You know what? Call up to the office. I'll give you the number.
There you go.
Our number's public, 586-254-7130. Ask for Nick. That's me. I'd love to talk to you. I want to hear what you think we could do better. I'm always open to bettering the show. People don't see eye to eye with me, that's fine. I try to be crazy. I try to be outlandish. I do it for the ratings.
There you go.
Did it all for the nookie, my friend. Fred Durst said it best.
Yeah.
So, Tim, I'm sorry you don't like the show. You probably watched because Cooking with Kathy's on right after and you want to see the greatest hot new recipe. Well, guess what, Tim? Turn the channel. Plain and simple. You don't like it, leave. And you know what? You probably like Matthew Stafford because I'm about to talk some major stuff about him. Dan, is Matthew Stafford a good, great, average, fair, poor quarterback? Let's hear what you got. Give him a grade for this season, and then we'll break it down.
You know, I like Matthew Stafford. He has potential. He needs that talent to back him up, and I feel like that's what separates him from great and good. He definitely has talent. He's reluctant. He's the type of leader you want to see leading your football team or your organization. He's the poster boy, obviously, of it. And, you know, this season, he's been pretty good. We did have some injuries, you know, with the loss of Calvin Johnson also. That was a big shot to the gut. Or was it? I don't know. I mean, they still made the playoffs without Calvin. So it's a lot of luck has fallen on him also in this organization. So to me, he's on the higher end of good, but great quarterbacks also have some great supporting cast.
So what's the grade? I didn't hear one. Your girlfriend's a teacher, so I'm sure you know what the grading scale is.
System on.
You know, she got the day off today.
Yeah?
The roads were bad this morning. Not so bad on our way in today.
No.
We started a little bit after the morning commute, but about 9 when I rolled in, roads were fine. Sidewalks, driveways a little icy, but the roads fine. Obviously at 6 or 5 or whenever the teachers are up, obviously not safe conditions. Made the right call always. The schools around here are just
the roads.
point.
The roads got an A today on the way in, but Matthew Stafford got a B this season.
B.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go, Dan. I really didn't want to
I
get
just
crazy.
lit the wick.
but
He's
I did.
fired up. Here it goes.
Let me
I
prepare.
can just see what's going on. Where to start?
I don't hate Matthew Stafford. I really don't. But do I think they will ever win a playoff game with him? No, I don't. I really don't. If you look this year, how many playoff teams did he beat? 0. How many did he play? 6. 0-6. How many road games has he won in his career?
Yeah.
Not 20.
Right.
Hasn't even won 20. His record, his percentage is about 300. when it comes to road winning percentage. It's like 338. Home, little over 500. But I mean, this is bad. You look at these quarterbacks. You look at Matt Ryan. You look at Aaron Rodgers. Obviously Tom Brady. Even Ben Roethlisberger. These guys get it done. Russell Wilson, great game manager. Stafford, I'm sorry, but I think he's good, but he's not good enough to get him over the hump. I say you get rid of him. You do not sign him to that extension that would make him the most highest paid player right now because he's not worth it.
No.
Andrew Luck is a better quarterback. I mean, when people say he's underrated coming in at like 15th, middle of the pack, I say no, he's about perfect. Matt Ryan. I'm just going to go off the cusp because I didn't prepare a list, but I'm going to say ahead of him in no particular order: Brady, Rodgers, Breeze, Ryan, Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, Russell Wilson. I'm drawing a blank, but I'm going to go with if you have any more.
Yeah, but you're going to look at them and you're also going to look, they've all won Super Bowls.
Matt Ryan's never won a Super
No,
Bowl.
that's right. You know, yeah, you're right. Matt Ryan
2016?
isn't, but
Eh?
throwing it out there.
But, I mean, I even think Joe Flacco is better than Stafford.
Yeah.
He's got a Super Bowl
It's
ring.
very arguable. You know, I see either points of view, but
Dak Prescott, Tony
right.
Romo. I'd take Romo over Stafford in a
Would
heartbeat.
you? Wow.
He can win. He's won playoff games.
That's true. He does
You
have
say
that
he
over.
chokes all the time. Stafford hasn't even been in a position to choke.
Yeah.
You can say that it's the team, and I will give you that to an extent. However, an elite quarterback, it doesn't matter. Look what Brady gets every year. He makes me and you look good. Look at his receiving core. Chris Hogan, who? Edelman came out of nowhere. Amendola. Look at these guys. Mitchell this year came out of nowhere. He's resurrected the career of Martellus Bennett when Gronk goes down with the Madden curse.
Yeah.
And look, boom. Look at they look stronger than ever. Although Stafford is better than Brock Osweiler. Oh, I put Derek Carr ahead of him too. Derek Carr had a
Really?
great
Okay,
year.
yeah.
He had a great year this year. It's a shame he went down. But what I'm saying is he's a middle of the road quarterback. He's not this elite savior, this god. He's not. And I'm sick of these Lions fans saying he's the second coming. I mean, he's not. And I mean, it's a debate that will never be right or wrong because it's a debate that's happened forever since he's been here. He was a number 1 overall pick. And to say it can go both ways. There's no right or wrong answer to this. I'm presenting you with I don't think he's the answer here in Detroit, and I would love to see them go in a different direction.
Yeah. And
I give him a C- for this
C-?
year.
Okay.
Look at who the wins and losses.
Yeah.
9-7, sure, above 500, 9-8 if you count the playoffs, but no key wins anywhere. You lose to Green Bay twice. You lost to Chicago once. Every game you needed to win, you pretty much lost down the stretch, 0-4 or 0-3 or whatever they went. All against playoff teams that they had to beat to show that they can make a run, and they didn't.
Right, and there's some sort of resiliency with the team also. I mean, look at Green Bay's their start, and they weren't too promising this year initially, and then look where they're at now. They had an incredible game against Dallas. Obviously, you saw that catch that was threaded. Rodgers literally threaded the needle.
Was that Jared Cook?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it
it
was
was a
just
great
incredible.
throw.
And I think you sort of get luck on your side also with that. But you do have plays. Elite quarterbacks do have those plays that it really separates them from. They get these highlight reel plays that you really haven't seen too much from Stafford, as opposed to Brady or Rodgers, even Ben Roethlisberger. And we have yet to see those type of plays. But I feel like that comes with greatness also.
And here's the argument I get from most. Matthew Stafford is one of 5 now 6, Matt Ryan did it this year, to throw for 5,000 yards in a season.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine and great, but what did they do that year?
What did they have to show for
They
it?
lost in the first round to the New Orleans Saints and got absolutely crushed. Then this year, they didn't even show up to Seattle. I don't think their flight left yet. And then the year they lost to Dallas, the refs. Another thing with Lions fans. Now I'm fired up. Now this is some BS here. Let's go. Let's roll. Lions fans never say it's the team's fault. Oh, this team's good. But, we played against the refs again this week. You can never win when the refs aren't on your side, dude. I can never say it enough, bro. Did you see they missed that holding call, bro? Oh, that wasn't offside. Oh, yeah, he was over the line. Oh, pass interference, bro. No, here's the thing. Your team's not good. Your team is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, the refs can make bad calls, but Detroit versus everybody, give me a break. I bought into it for like a half hour after the Michigan-Ohio State game because that was some Bush League stuff. Anyways, don't get me sidetracked, me. Talking to myself. It's just, you're not a good football team. You're okay. You're not good. So when you say the refs are the problem why you lose, you are sore losers. Detroit sports fans are the worst. They are. Yeah. You can never, they'll never be happy. And you win one game, you're going to the Super Bowl. You lose two, they should blow this team up and say, there's no such thing as a fan here.
Yeah.
If you're a fan, you understand the game. And if you think it's always the ref's fault, the game is 38-10. Oh, they missed that pass interference. That's why we lost. It's over. Detroit versus everybody. The refs do it again. Let me get on Twitter because I can't tell it to anyone's face. I'll just tweet about it because I'm a coward.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with the refusal to acknowledge that you need a lot more work than you
They need to relocate.
And I think that's an easy scapegoat
Go
to
to
blame.
LA. They're accepting any team that wants to go there. And they're not putting any thought into their logos either.
Yeah, that was pretty
Did you
shoddy.
see the Tampa Bay Lightning's tweet?
That was fantastic, yes.
No, we and the LA Dodgers did not have a child, and we're not together. The logo for the LA Chargers. By the way, it
looks
so
like
much,
an XFL team logo.
They took so much grief for that. They said, okay, that's not our logo anymore.
We were just kidding.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but you
Talk about phoning it in. If I was the city of San Diego, I'd say, smell you later.
Yeah.
They're a joke. And now the Raiders want to go to Vegas.
Wow.
The NFL is becoming so disgusting and so disgraceful. The Lions fit right in. Because they're also disgusting and disgraceful. Bob Quinn, our savior. If you think he's our savior, you probably thought Matt Millen was our savior when he was hired in. Look what happened.
Yeah.
Just blow up this team, burn Ford Field to the ground, let's move on.
And to support your argument, though, with far as, it's the referees, look at, excuse me, look at New England. Look at the trouble they had with Brady and Deflategate. I hate bringing that up.
One of their tight ends killed a guy.
Yeah.
Their best tight end murders a guy in cold blood. Mm-hmm. They won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah,
give me a break.
So I really think that goes and ties
without him, by the way, they didn't let him. I know the NFL's corrupt. They did not allow a murderer to play.
Well, only at least they're starting somewhere.
Only if you shoot someone and they don't die, they allow you to play in the NFL. Murder, that's where they draw the line.
As long as there's any distinct
do a little,
evidence.
Drugs that they don't allow, you can play then. Or no, you can't play. They suspend you for like a year if you do drugs.
To subdue the pain.
But if you kill someone, you're fine. Anyways, continue.
You hit your wife or you have a bad elevator ride. As long as it's on.
No, Ray Rice took some grief for that.
A little bit. But what's he doing now?
He's reinstated to the NFL.
Yep. So,
anyways, back to you supporting my argument. I like this. This is great.
But no, with that being said, I really think it's the refusal to acknowledge that you don't have as much talent as you'd like to believe. There's a lot of hype, and there's a lot of hype beasts out there. These guys that'll just jump on when they see something semi-exciting, and they realize maybe we can get something going. We've been cheering for this team for so long. We're still leaps and bounds ahead of where we're supposed to be, or behind where we're supposed to be. But we got these little flashes of these glimmers of hope, and you know what? It's the refs that blew this game. It wasn't the lack of defense. It wasn't the lack of coaching. It wasn't the lack of leadership.
Talent,
yes.
The lack of anything. Go drink your $10 beer and shut your mouth.
And with that being said, as far as the leadership, we got
great leadership here.
You got Caldwell coming back for a lame duck year. He doesn't know if he's going to be signed again.
He knew.
You got 1 year left in his contract.
They told him he's back.
They're going to keep him.
They told him before the playoff game.
Yeah.
That was a mistake.
I think that was.
You should be ashamed of yourself, Lions. That was a lion roaring. You sound like. Anyways, you know what? Enough of this.
Okay.
Super Bowl prediction. Who do you got and who do you got winning?
Oh, after last week's game, I feel like it'd be unfair to say that Green Bay's not going to at least make it to the Super Bowl. I'd love to see New England and Green Bay. I think that'd be terrific too.
I got New England as well, but I've got the Atlanta Falcons. New England winning. Brady continuing his dynasty. We'll see what happens. Yeah. These will be great games this weekend, I think, both of them. Although the Steelers soccer match that they endured, 6 field goals by Chris Boswell. That was an NFL record. Also, Mason Crosby, first kicker to ever have 2+ 50-yard field goals in the last minute of a game.
Yeah. And I was so glad that I was watching the game and I was talking with a couple people who were watching the game with. I go, I really don't want to see this game be won by a kicker, by a field goal. So I was kind of hoping that.
But then he did have to make 2 at the end.
Right.
Because they called the timeout. He buried that one, then he made the second one.
Yeah.
Normally in history, he misses that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to overtime, and Dallas probably
speaking.
wins. After that 2-point conversion run by Dak Prescott, I'm like, oh boy, Dallas looks money here. But
Yeah.
I'm glad they lost.
Right.
Rooting for Green Bay, rooting for Aaron Rodgers. And you know what? We got to root for our sponsors for a moment. BRB LOL.
What's up, man?
Oh, I need a haircut.
I just got mine done today.
Where'd you go?
Went to Rocco's. It's Chesterfield, about a mile east of 94 on 23.
Oh, how much do they charge?
It's $12. You can walk right in anytime. They're just closed on Sundays, I think.
Oh, $12? It might be worth the drive up there.
It really is. We'll go next time.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
If ever there's a reason to be swept up in the season of the falling leaves, and if the days grew shorter and the darkness drew its order from the autumn gray, I'd rather sit this out and sleep the day away instead. A weary eyes a bit too slow and deep. Rather sit this out and sleep the day away instead, to worry about the emptiness that comes.
Welcome back. All right, enough of that football talk. We're going to get into, I can see you're getting fired up. We got a long week ahead of us. Hopefully you got your rest over the weekend, but yeah. Yeah, you're back at the Joe. And speaking of the Joe in his final season, we do have some Red Wings hockey to talk about.
You bet we do.
We got a Bruins game coming up where you guys will be celebrating the 98 Cup champions with.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Why don't we celebrate every single championship team this year?
You just got to get them in the doors.
They sell out every game.
They do. Yeah. But over the week, Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
I have a dream.
How was the coming off that 6-3 win?
The crowd was electric.
Were they?
It was one of the most exciting games I've been to in a while since the probably opening night of this year against Ottawa. That was a real electric environment. This was the most electric since then. That last minute of the game, the crowd was standing, cheering the entire last minute. 1-0 game, first place team, Carey Price in net. The rookie Jared Coro gets his second shutout. And in the Wings' last 5 games now, Coro has been the goalie every game. So in last 5 wins.
Victories.
Yeah, so nothing against Peter Mrazek, but you got to ride this kid. And, these are tough games. When you looked at their schedule coming up, you had Pittsburgh, Montreal, Boston, there's Buffalo in there, and then the Rangers. These are tough games, and they've gotten the first 2 in impressive fashion. That 6-3 win on Saturday. I don't know if you saw Andreas Athanasiou's goal. Probably the goal of the year. He goes coast to coast, bar down, through everybody, slips it through a guy's leg, goes around him, bar down over Marc-Andre Fleury. Against the defending Stanley Cup champions. This is the youth movement the Wings needed, and I'm glad it's starting to come full circle. Now, are we getting premature? Maybe. They could go out and easily lose 6 straight. But just let's take it game by game.
Right.
I mean, look at Columbus. They won 16 straight. The Wild won 12 straight. Washington won 9 straight until they lost 8-7 last night to Pittsburgh. I mean, it's a year of streaks. Red Wings won 6 straight earlier in the year. Go out and go 4-1, 5-2 in a stretch. They're only 6 points out of the playoffs.
Right.
So I mean, it's there. This team has talent. It's just a matter of scoring on the power play and getting good play from your D. And last night they got that. I'm sorry. Mike Green and Danny DeKeyser are playing great. Nick Jensen and Xavier Ouellet have been playing outstanding. No matter what anyone says, these young guys finally coming through. You got Mantha, who I think has arguably been the best player all season now since he's been there for the Wings. Zetterberg, you can say he's old and slow. He's quietly leading the team in points, and he's been a catalyst when he's out there. I mean, the talent's there. Look at Vanek, scores his 11th goal of the year last night. I mean, it's the talent's there. It's just a matter of maybe getting one little tweak at the trade deadline, getting another scorer. Nick Jensen is now not eligible to be sent down without clearing waivers. So look for a trade. Maybe a guy like Brendan Smith, who's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year, to move a defenseman. Maybe a guy like Jonathan Erickson, although his contract is high and he's leading the team in minutes every game against my judgment. I don't see what they see in him, but maybe he's got value across the league. Alexei Marchenko made the World Cup. I mean, there's young talent there. Just a matter of if they want to move it or not, and what can they get for it.
Right. And with that being said, with the young talent, is that young talent in the right spot? I can see someone like a Brendan Smith, a Jonathan Erickson, going along the lines of I forget the guy a couple of the guys we traded for to the Lightning, but they really showed up. They stepped up, and maybe this just isn't the right organization for them. I mean, you may be able to excel.
Valtteri Filppula.
Valtteri, thank you.
Yeah.
Definitely a shining star when we were playing them in the playoffs last year and the year before. But sometimes this Detroit Red Wings organization, this team, is for specific players only. I mean, they have this certain style that they play with, and maybe this is just not the type of style that Jonathan Erickson or Brendan Smith or some of these other young players need to be playing with, and they can excel, and that will benefit not only the Wings with the solid trade, but also benefit their careers. So it's a cut and take. The one thing I'm consistently seeing that I'm not happy with is there's too many passes. There's too many passes in the offensive. It's ridiculous.
It's so true.
I believe it was Tatar yesterday. I think in the third period.
Tatar's gun shy. I don't know what his deal is, if he's hurt or what the problem is. He's got to step it up or ship it out.
Yeah. There's just too many times. I mean, did you see the shots on net after the second period? I believe
13 to 12.
After 2 periods of play, they have 13, 12 shots on net. It's ridiculous, and you got to. You're not going to put. You're lucky that we had that 6-3 win against Pittsburgh.
Very lucky.
With the lack of shots that we had. You're going to get more goals. You're going to get more opportunities. And personally, if I was, if I was Blashill, I'd be parking someone in front of that net. It worked before. It has shown to work. And maybe you take one of these bigger guys on defense and throw them in front of the net, just so you don't have to worry about them getting pushed around too much. But mix it up a little bit. But you need more shots on net. And if you're anything like me, especially, you're probably a little more quiet when you're down at the Joe. But
not lately.
But if you're like me, I'm screaming at the TV. I'm every obscenity. My poor dog's running around in circles thinking I'm yelling at her, but it's actually the Wings.
Are you sure? What about the surprise she left you in your shoe this morning?
Well, I think that was, I don't know.
Happy Tuesday. Hey, happy Tuesday. Hey.
But with it just, you got to put more pucks on net. We don't need these
more pucks
fans
on net. Get good isolation in zone. Get more pucks on net.
Yeah, and you need that, and it's imperative to get more goals, especially when it comes to playoff time. We weren't getting as many goals as we need to, and unfortunately, you don't continue this, you're not going to make the playoffs. And if you do make it in the playoffs, you're not going to go very far. So I feel, like you said, we have to move some of these younger guys out of town. It's not their place. Get somebody that can really help us. I mean, it doesn't have to be a major marquee name, but just somebody that'll give it this extra spark. It might turn the team around.
And maybe guys coming back from injury. I know Darren Helm's due back day to day. Nick Cronwell's due back day to day. Those guys have provided a charge this year when healthy.
Yeah.
Cronwell, right before he got hurt, was starting to bang bodies again. He was crushing guys. And Helm, before he got hurt, that speed was huge. He was scoring goals. So we definitely need the speed we had, and that was huge at the beginning of the year. They were saying this team is fast. Athanasiou, Helm, Glendening. These guys are quick. Larkin. And Larkin also has kind of gone into the shadows of some of the other players. If he comes around with a guy like Tatar, Nyquist has started to score some goals. This is going to be a dangerous hockey team. And that's going to lead me to the question I ask every week. My answer's still the same, in or out, Wings playoffs.
After this week, in for sure.
In as well.
Big bright spot.
They have 3 games in hand with Boston, who's second in the division. And they trail, if they win the game Wednesday, they would only be 5 points behind. With 3 games in hand, win those games in hand, you're in second place. So, I mean, it's still too early to tell.
Right.
There's still 3-4 months left in the hockey season. Everyone's getting all worried. This team's done. They said it in October. They said it last year. Team's done. Tank. I will never get why you say tank.
Yeah.
I will never, or miss the playoffs. Doesn't matter if you miss the playoffs by a game or you make the playoffs. Your draft pick's one different. And if you say, oh, tank for a draft pick. One draft pick isn't going to fix your team.
Right.
You're not going to get an Austin Matthews. You're not going to get a Sidney Crosby. Those guys are few and far between. There isn't one of those guys every year. Look at this draft class. Other than, I think it's Nolan Patrick. There's no one. And he's not even an elite prospect. He's a good prospect. Don't tank for draft picks. I'll never understand, especially in the NHL. Any team can win at any time. There's so much parity. Let's talk about a league where there's no parity. The National Basketball Association. Pistons, terrible, the worst. Blew a 25-point lead at Sacramento. Lost the game. They're awful. They lose by 40 on national TV to the Jazz. This team's a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah, and it might have meant something back then.
No.
When the Lakers had talent.
They beat the Lakers
That's what I was gonna say.
by a point or something.
But yeah, 102-97
Oh, 5
in LA. But with that being said, it's what's LA done lately. I mean, they were a downfall, and then once Kobe left, obviously, it's not doing it.
Downfall of us all. Day to remember. No.
Oh, nice. That's going back. But you got terrific talent behind the bench, coaching, managing, but
Singing, playing guitar.
that's right. What can you do? There's something's got to be done. First thing off, you got to start. I know I'm beating this drum every week. You got to make your free throws. But it just goes to show the parity of, not the parity of the league, but the embarrassment of the league is. You're all about these marquee players that can make these huge threes, or just you got your Steph Currys, your LeBron James, the terrific layups and stuff. The next powerhouse is going to have a very good free throw shooting team. Yes, you'll have your 3-point shooters, your star guys, but you're going to have to be strong at the line. And I feel like if you want to have a strong, repetitive championship winning team, you're going to need these guys that are consistent at the line.
The NBA sucks. We don't. Dan Myers, Nick Buckler, Tim Jones. Give me a call. See ya.